Hello, my name is Kevin Bernhardt, and I'm both a farm management specialist for the University of Wisconsin Division of Extension and a professor in the School of Agriculture at the University of Wisconsin-Platteville. This video is part of a curriculum to support farm managers to make decisions and take actions to move their farms forward and ultimately reduce the farm member's stress. In this video, I will continue discussing financial performance, particularly the interpretation of results. Let's get started. 3 overall kinds of analyses, performance, capacity, and resiliency, have been performed to help the farm managers make a more informed decision on the current viability of the farm business. Or, as has been discussed, which camp the farm business is in. Are they a builder, long hauler, or guardian transitioner? Now's the hard part, to use that information to choose a camp and ultimately to strategically plan the future direction of the business. There is no one process, no one way, or no single set of numbers that leads to an exact answer. However, worksheets 1, 2, and 3 in the logbook can help summarize the information in ways that may help the decision maker. Managers are also encouraged to share results with advisors and thus putting more brains to work reviewing and interpreting the financial information. Let's begin with worksheet 1, which summarizes results from the performance, capacity, and resiliency analyses. It begins with questions 1 through 5 about the 5 key financial areas of the financial scorecard, which are liquidity, solvency, repayment capacity, profitability, and financial efficiency. There are multiple ratios in each of those areas. Compare the ratio results in each area against the standards listed in each column in the worksheet under guardian transitioner, long hauler, and builder. And note which one seems to fit the best. Special consideration should be given to solvency, repayment capacity, and profitability, as these areas are stronger indicators of long-term economic viability. Liquidity is often fixable if other areas are in good situation, and financial efficiency provides more in-depth information on profitability itself. Question 6 on the worksheet is a summarized assessment of capacity. The answer will be unique to each situation, type of business, and owner characteristics. Carefully consider each statement under the 3 camps and pick the one that seems to fit your situation the best. Question 7 on the worksheet is for summarizing the current situation with respect to farm business resiliency. That is, how well prepared is the business to handle the broad set of risks that might come its way? The question is based on the resiliency wheel analysis. Note that the level of business resiliency may not be a strong indicator of which camp a business is in. Rather, it is information on where to focus management time. The link to the camps is if resiliency is poor and nothing is done about it, then in time, risk could have a significant negative impact on the operation. Worksheet 2 is a continuation of summarizing the results, but focuses on specific key performance indicators for profitability, solvency, and repayment capacity, as well as use of debt financing and the direction of owner equity growth. Question 1 on worksheet 2 is the status of return on assets. Return on assets is an often used measure of profitability. It is a measure of how well assets are being managed to create profits, a strong indicator of profitability. The measure of return on assets is dependent on the percent of assets owned versus leased. Therefore, users must choose to answer either questions 1A, 1B, or 1C, just one of those, based on which is applicable to the percent of assets owned on your farm. Once the correct question, 1A, 1B, or 1C, is determined, then match your situation with the camp or the column on the worksheet that best matches your situation. Note that multiple years will provide a much more accurate answer than any single year. Question 2 focuses on solvency. 2 ratios are shown, 2A and 2B. However, both give the same information, so you only have to answer one of those, either 2A or 2B. Question 3 provides information on how well debt financing is used to leverage profits versus being a drag on profitability. The production agriculture industry is a capital-intensive business and often involves significant debt financing. Some situations, such as being a beginning farmer or recent expansions, involve even heavier uses of debt financing. If return on equity is greater than return on assets, then that means debt financing is being used in a way that leverages greater profitability. The opposite is a drag on profitability. How well debt financing is used is another piece of information for which camp a farm business is in. An economically viable business is one that can pay its bills and have profits enough to cover debt service, replenish, replace, and or update the farm's capital assets and technology, pay family living, and pay taxes. Question 4 is a ratio that measures the ability of the business to cover these areas and a strong indicator of long-term economic viability. Question 5 is an umbrella type of question. If all is going well, including profits, paying bills, covering debt service, etc., then the results will likely be growing owner equity. Question 5 focuses on the direction of owner equity. Note, retained earnings or earned equity is the portion of owner equity that comes from farm profits over time, and not any equity change that results just from the changing asset value, particularly of land. Worksheet number 3 is a qualitative assessment. This worksheet brings in a new analysis that goes beyond the numbers and figures of performance, capacity, and resiliency. Instead, it is an assessment based more on the owner, manager's experiences and gut feel. Questions 1 through 6 each pose a question about the farm business's ability to pay bills, cover debt service, and etc. For each question, choose the response in the column that best fits your experience. When worksheets 1, 2, and 3 are complete, go back and review them. Certainly the number of times that answers fall into one of the 3 camps is an indicator of which camp might best fit your current situation. However, it is not just a counting of the number of checks in each column. Other considerations are important as well. For example, is the current situation likely to change? If so, which way is it likely to change? Are there opportunities that the current numbers don't reflect? Future transition, inheritance, off-farm income, or pending retirement? Was there a recent expansion or major overhaul of the business model that perhaps may not be reflected in the numbers yet? What is the condition of the physical infrastructure? Finally, what is the skill level, experience, and perhaps most important, the motivation of current management? Putting pencil to paper and analyzing performance, capacity, and resiliency is a valuable tool to better understand economic viability of the business and inform future decision making. But the ultimate goal is to make a decision about the future strategic direction for the farm business. One can continue to crunch numbers, do comparisons, and look at trends. But at some point, a decision must be made. The hope is that your informed answers to worksheets 1, 2, and 3 will help guide your way towards that decision. Finally, it is not a contest to be a builder versus long hauler or guardian transitioner. It is what it is. An operation will be in one of these camps for a host of reasons, many of which may lay outside the owner-manager's control. The challenge is to not look back and question why. Rather, to use the reality of the current situation to look forward and plan a successful future. Thank you for listening.